And as we're welcoming our Facebook community that are joining us, I say good morning to our Facebook Live community that is joining us this morning. Welcome to the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living, where we're continuing our monthly theme, Living as Compassionate Conduits. And our weekly title for today, our talk for today is God is not motivated if you aren't. God is not motivated if you aren't. You know, one of the opportunities for a minister is to grow in the public eye. And so in the spirit of transparency and authenticity, I share with you this morning my grief and sadness as our family said goodbye to one of my granddogs, Mr. Blue, on Friday. He brought us unconditional love, mischief, excitement, and all things dog for 15 years. And I have many stories and memories of my special connection with him that will always bring a smile to my heart. And those stories could fill up not only this talk time, but could fill up the 15 years that we were blessed to have him in our lives. And so I believe that Mr. Blue, as a friend of mine describes our fur friends as little people dressed in fur coats. So I believe Mr. Blue is saying to us this morning, when tomorrow starts without me, don't think we're far apart. For every time you think of me, I'm right here inside your heart. So we salute Mr. Blue and bid him Godspeed. Last Sunday, we began our 40-day prosperity plan class. Our Thursday group meeting and sharing, our first group meeting sharing revealed some exciting demonstrations, and I'm excited to hear more. We will meet this Thursday, November the 26th on Thanksgiving Day from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. And by popular request, we're adding a Thursday morning group meditation and sharing from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific. And this is for our East Coast partners, so that will be 9 o'clock their time. And also any of our local early risers who would like to join us for the 6 a.m. Meditation and sharing, we certainly welcome you. And we are beginning this on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday the 26th. And I extend an invitation to everyone to join the meditation experience, no matter which principle you are focusing on for the day. I know several of us have had to begin again. And there's something about coming together in a group meditation experience that just expands the energy and expands that vortex of openness and expansionness. So please join us for one of those times. And also on Thanksgiving Day, we are hosting a Zoom midday gathering from 12 noon until 12:30, just to be in community with each other on that day. And so if you are available, please join us for whatever may reveal itself. I'm going to say meditation, and yet Spirit is still downloading what it is going to look like. So tune in for the surprise and see what God has in store. We're using the same Zoom link that is for the 40-day prosperity plan. And I've asked our tech team to put that link in the chat for us, to put it in the comments section on the Facebook Live. And you may also find the link posted on our website, Monterey Center for Spiritual Living, MontereyCSL.org, our website. It's in our newsletter, also on our Facebook page. Because this is Thanksgiving week, I take this opportunity to remind us that gratitude always multiplies our good. When we are grateful for what we have in our lives right now, it tells the universe that we're open to receive more, and it sets the wheels of creation in motion. Gratitude and manifestation go together like turkey and mashed potatoes, stuffing and cranberry sauce, or acorn squash stuffed with wild rice, or roasted carrots, vegetable lasagna, whatever your personal choices. As we are truly an inclusive community, I included all of the food groups to demonstrate our expanded inclusiveness. Today, we explore the idea that God is not motivated if you aren't. And I offer the science of mind point of view. Man's thought is the activity of mind, for mind without thought or directed consciousness would have no real existence. There can be no existence apart from consciousness, or there will be any existence apart from consciousness. Then there is no one, no thing, and no intelligence to be aware of such existence. It is evident that without self-awareness, there is only no realization of life, but no life to be realized. And this is from Living the Science of Mind, page 321. In other words, until we set the law in motion with our thoughts and emotions, nothing is going to happen. In the reading that Bobby shared with us this morning, God turns to us as we turn to him, based on Luke 15, is one of the parables of Jesus, the great teacher, to show that God turns to us as we turn to God, that there is a reciprocal action between the universal and the individual mind, that the Spirit is ready to help us whenever we turn to it. And God's love is always available, regardless of where we find ourselves along life's journey. The universe is fair. Life never lets us down. We let ourselves down. We sow seeds in the creative soil of the mind with our thoughts. However, sometimes we allow judgment, self-doubt, fear, and the opinions of others to produce seeds that bring us less than what we desire. And I offer this background or setup for the parable that lies in the age-old strategies of what I call the dream stealers. Listen to how the story begins. Now all the tax collectors and sinners were gathered around to listen to Jesus. Note that in this first statement, Jesus makes no distinctions between so-called saints and sinners. He welcomed and embraced all who came. And so the scribes and the Pharisees began to grumble among themselves, but loudly enough to be heard. This man welcomes sinners and eats with them. It was their purpose to try and trip Jesus up. Then Jesus told them this parable. What man among you, if he has 100 sheep and loses one of them, does not leave the 99 in the pasture and go out for the one that is lost until he finds it? And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders, calls his friends and neighbors to tell them, "Rejoice with me, for I have found my lost sheep." In the same way, I tell you, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents, over the 99 righteous ones who choose not to repent. Now, to support this story that God is not motivated if we're not, I offer these three perspectives from Science of Mind, these three illustrations. God or spirit is inherently neutral. It is in the field of infinite possibility that organizes everything in creation, the cycles of seasons, the biological rhythms of our bodies, birth and death. It is pure awareness, pure consciousness, pure potential that manifests all things. Mindful that it does not do this of its own volition. The process is set up in motion by our thoughts and emotions, whether conscious or unconscious, individual or collective. God does not act until we do. The possibility of setting up the law in motion is ours. We should sense that back of the word which we speak is the power of the universe urging us to express itself. And this is from our Science of Mind textbooks, page 305 and 306. And then Socrates says it this way: to move the world, we must first move ourselves. To move the world, we must first move ourselves. And point number 2, think it, feel it, believe it. In order to create any sort of change in the world, we must first set an intention and then spend time every day sitting in the feeling of what we desire. Every thought, every prayer or meditation or visioning supports the desire that we're choosing to set in motion. In this place of faith and knowing, feelings or disbelief fade away. And wanting is replaced by knowing that the desired outcome is already in existence. It is in this conscious state of mind that sets the law into motion. Feeling always precedes demonstration. And we're seeing this as a recurring theme in the 40-day prosperity plan class, especially in principle number 4 that says, in part, I draw into my mind and feeling nature the very substance of spirit. And since the law is mental, one must believe in it in order to have it work affirmatively. It is always working according to our belief, whether we are conscious of this truth or not. Demonstration takes place through the field of the one universal mind. We set the power in motion. The law produces the effect. We plant the seed, the law produces the plant. And this is from our Science of Mind textbook on page 322. And then our third point is to act on it. Taking divinely inspired action is what sets intention apart from fantasy. I'm going to say that again. Taking divinely inspired action is what sets intention apart from fantasy. What would life look like if we already had the things that we want? Live as if the desired outcome is already so. Follow inner guidance, the voice of the divine within, making decisions and doing what you feel inspired to do each step of the way. When we are following God's guidance, it should feel effortless and fun. And be encouraged by the words of Gandhi. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. I remember the first time I heard this quote by Gandhi, it really resonated with me and just really settled into my memory. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. And this is what our spiritual practices invite us to allow. We are to know, we are to be, and then we are to do. Sometimes we put the doing before the being, but it is in the being that Spirit reveals to us what is ours to do. and what it is the change that we wish to see, because that change emerges from the inside. And remember, from our selected reading this morning, the great lesson we have to learn is the unity of love and law, the necessity of law in shaping a divine individuality. As part of my training in doing spiritual mind treatment for the fifth step releasing, we were encouraged to release our treatment, release our prayer into love and law, recognizing that love is what propels the law into motion. The law just responds yes to whatever is activated into it. However, the great love of God, the great love of spirit, is that which propels the law into motion. And so we are united in love. And love and law working together shape our divine individuality. Intention is the starting point of everything that takes place in the universe, no matter how great or small. Every intention we set in the mind of the one itself, the mind of the one God, the mind of the one spirit, the mind of the one source. Every intention we set it into the mind of God. And it is through the unity of love and law that our intentions shape our divine individuality. And so in closing this morning, I offer our life work for the week. In addition to our spiritual practice of the 40-day prosperity plan, and this may support in the daily meditation. And I've asked our tech team to drop this into the chat and into the comments. Center yourself in a quiet place within where possibility lies. Set intentions for what you wish to manifest in the world of form. Let go and let God handle the details of how, when, where it comes about. And I think number 3 is the key, to let go, to let God handle the details of how, when, and where it comes about. And lastly, follow your intuition and live as if it is already so. And remember, God is only motivated to create when we are. God is only motivated to create when we are. And so let us pray together. As we turn within to that place of centeredness and divine knowingness, I recognize the oneness of all life. I recognize the source of all that there is, that is known by many, many names according to the various traditions. In fact, Mark Nepo has written a book entitled 7,000 Ways to Listen. And when this book was written, there were 7,000 known languages within the world. And I'm sure that many more have been discovered. So just allow your imagination, if you will, to envision 7,000 different tongues, 7,000 different languages, recognizing and calling forth the very essence of source. And know with me that as I am, we are, and each one is an individualized expression of source in those 7,000 known languages, plus the ones that are unknown. Embrace this, if you will. Embrace the allness and the expansiveness of spirit. And so I speak my word this morning in gratitude and in thanksgiving for this spiritual community known as the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living, recognizing that we are both a local and a non-local community, We are, as the organization likes to define, our CSL organization likes to define us as one church in many locations, or one center in many locations. And so as we gather in the name and nature of the one source, I know that each of our lives is blessed, that our intentions are fulfilled, and those years that the locusts have eaten have been restored and are fully restored in every area of our life. For it is true that the source, the essence of this living one, makes all things new. I speak my word of blessing this morning for the leadership of our nation and the leadership of the world. And as we continue to lift each one, we look beyond. This is our opportunity as people of faith to look beyond the appearance of what is going on, to look beyond what is being said, to look beyond what appears to be divisiveness, to look beyond anything that is not like the essence of love. And so from my heart, and I invite each one of us to open our heart and to just extend love to our leaders. Love that brings forth unity, love that brings forth collaboration, love that brings forth consensus, love that brings forth a spirit of oneness, recognizing that different ideas, different strategies, different techniques all work together for the outcome that is the highest and best of all concerned. We honor our differences. We honor and value our personal and individual values. And we bring this together in collaboration for the highest good of all that are concerned. And I speak my word this morning for the prayer request that we hold in our hearts, and for the prayer requests that have been spoken. For each one that is facing a health challenge or health opportunity, depending on how you choose to phrase it. What I know is that regardless of this metaphysical blah, 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 when I am sick, and I want to be well. And so I am declaring this morning that there is wellness and there is wholeness in the body and in the body of each of our affairs. I'm declaring that whatever prosperity needs and desires that they are fulfilled. They're fulfilled with loving kindness, with graciousness, with gentleness and love. And that resources come from places that are known as well as unknown. I am declaring right and perfect livelihood. I am declaring right and perfect housing. I am declaring right and perfect resolution to whatever the issues and challenges are that are in our lives. Knowing that as I live from a place of love, as I live from a place of gratitude, as I live from a place of loving kindness, that what is true for me is also true for each one, because there's only one thing happening, and that is God expressing. And so in gratitude for this and for so much more, I release this word now into the activity and the action of love and law, knowing that my word must produce what I send out, and it cannot and will not return void. And so in gratitude, I just allow it to be. And we affirm this by saying, and so it is. And so it is. And now it is our opportunity to participate in the divine givingness of all creation. Our affirmation of abundance, I recognize the presence of God within as the source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. I realize this visible substance, an outer symbol of my inner supply, into the physical world. I release this visible substance, an outer symbol of my inner supply, into the physical world. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And we express deep, deep gratitude for each one who participates in the law of circulation. Those who are mailing in their donations to the center, to those of you who are making your donations through our website, we appreciate the generosity of our online community. And for those of you who are courageous enough to text to give, and the text to give number is posted on our screen. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your generosity and support of the center so that we can in turn participate in the law of circulation.